Please call up the matter.
Thank you, my lady. As the court pleases, my lady, this is a matter between the Special Investigating Unit and Crocia Events PTY Ltd, case number GP18 of 2021, appearing in the Special Tribunal of South Africa before Madam Justice Mudiba, 4 August 2022. My lady.
Thank you. Counsel may place themselves on record.
My lady, it's Advocate Platt together with Advocate Matera for the SIU.
Thank you. There's no one for Crocia, no. Right?
No, my lady, and they haven't filed any documents. We received an email this morning saying where they suggest a postponement until they don't specify a date. They're just saying until their council is ready, because apparently they had to have a new council. But they're not saying when or how or anything else like that, my lady.
Yes. And what are your instructions?
My instructions are to proceed, my lady.
Okay. There's something that is bothering me, Ms. Platt, and I'd like to discuss it with you. Then you can take instructions.
Yes.
Then we can determine how to proceed today. You will recall that at the last case management meeting, there was an issue whether I did permit the enrollment of the special plea alongside the exception or not. Remember, there was that issue.
Yes.
And, you know, in my mind at the time, I could not have permitted that because that's obviously irregular in terms of Uniform Rule 23.1.
Yes, ma'am.
But I've listened to the recording because I noted from emails exchanged that Crocia persisted that I did admit that. So I went back to the recording and I listened. And what appears from the recording is that there's an issue that arose in respect to the SIU's reply to Crocia Events' notice in terms of Rule 35.12, right? It appears that they were not satisfied with the SIU's response and they needed to then take a formal step. And I then asked in that meeting what that formal step would be, you know. And at that point, counsel for Crocia indicated that that formal step would be a special plea. And then there was an exception. But remember, they had already taken that they had already raised the special plea, although in an irregular manner.
Yes.
Right. And then what was being discussed was the hearing of the exceptions. And counsel for Crocia then said, in order to expedite the hearing of the issues, would I hear the special plea and the exception at the same time? Notwithstanding that earlier I had indicated that they can't do that, you know, and I then actually said yes. In that meeting, I then said yes. You were not in attendance. I don't know if you understand that recording, you were not in attendance. And your junior counsel did not object.
Yes.
And the driving factor at that point was expedition. It wasn't about the rules.
Yes.
It was expedition because I could have well had the exception first and the special plea could well be separated out, remember.
Yes, right.
But the dilemma they were facing is that they had not pleaded over.
Yes.
Okay. So at the last meeting where you were present, when I said I could not have ordered that, that was actually not incorrect because I did not remember.
Yes.
I had permitted it. And that creates a problem given where we are and the purpose of today's applications, because what you are seeking to set aside, the implications of these exceptions, given what I had permitted, creates unfairness, given what I had permitted, right? And I'm aware from correspondence exchanged between the parties that Crocia remains very unsatisfied with where things are at. And they had actually resorted to withdrawing the exceptions, and the issue now becomes the issue of costs.
My lady, I'm not too sure if they've withdrawn the exceptions.
No, they've not done so formally. There was a discussion.
Okay.
They would withdraw, and the issue would then become the issue of cost. You may not have been instructed.
Yes.
But Ms. Mashitisho is copied on these emails, and that's why I know she's copied.
No, my lady, I'm not about to do anything that's going to cause them unfairness. If they're withdrawing the exceptions, costs can be in the course. I'm happy. I don't need to.
In fact, that's what I needed to propose. I think it will be very fair, given the fact that they are not persisting with the exceptions.
Yes.
We permit them, even though there isn't a formal withdrawal.
Yes. Yes.
We permit them to do that, and costs are costs in the course.
Absolutely, my lady. Because in that event, my irregular step will also then fall away.
Yes.
If that is the case. And we are happy with the costs in the course. Absolutely, my lady. We're not here.
Then we're back, we're back on an even plane.
Absolutely,
right?
my lady.
So what remains is their special
plea. Yes.
So they will have to decide whether they plead over, so they can file an amendment.
Yes.
They can decide to set it down for hearing.
Yes.
They can decide to withdraw it for the time being.
Absolutely,
and persist with an exception because they're saying they're unable to plead.
Yes.
Right. But I am concerned about the delays here.
Yes, we are as well, my lady.
Yes, because I went back to the judgment and I actually uplifted the bar. Yes. Because they had said to me they're pleas ready and they will file it fairly shortly. Yes. And they didn't do that. Then there's this spate of interlocutories that have been going on pretty much for the past 4 months. And it appears that he doesn't even have funds. So I am very concerned about the conduct of this matter. But at this point, we really cannot, given your willingness for an order in the terms I've proposed in order to ensure that the proceedings are fair to Crocia, we really cannot take the matter further at this point.
That's correct, my lady.
However, I would like to impose a time frame for them for briefing counsel so that the matter can then proceed. So we will then have a case management meeting at that point where they really indicate how they intend taking.
My lady, they say they do have counsel. But they say the council wasn't available, or they don't know when the council will be available. So,
but the attorney can come to a case management meeting.
Yes, that's correct, my lady. Yeah. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Would you then prepare an order?
Yes, my lady.
In these terms, that in the light of Crocia's events undertaking to withdraw the exceptions are. The withdrawal of the exceptions is accepted, and costs of all the exceptions as well as the applications to set aside the regular steps are caused in the course. And Ms. Mashitisho will contact the parties to convene a further case management meeting.
My lady, do you want us to put in the order that we will arrange a judicial case management?
Put it in the meeting so that they know. Yeah, and just say, to be held soon. I'd like one to be held next week, because clearly there are undue delays occurring in this matter.
Yes, my lady. My lady, unfortunately in next week, if the judicial case management can be heard at 4 o'clock, then I will be available, because I am in a hearing the whole week.
But we can accommodate you in that manner.
Thank you, my lady.
Yeah. Shall we then adjourn?
Yes, my lady. We will forward. We will email you the court order.
Yes.
My lady, do you want us to resume the hearing?
No, we don't need to. We don't
Okay.
need. We don't need.
Thanks, my lady.
I can hand it down electronically. And thank you very much for your very reasonable and sensible approach to this dilemma.
It's a pleasure, my lady.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We adjourn.